Welcome to a new edition of the Gerety Talks. I'm Lucia Ongay, the co-founder of the Gerety Awards, the award that brings together a jury to select the best in advertising from a powerful perspective. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel for our weekly episodes where we chat with some of the marketing and creative industry's true change makers. Today we are having a chat with some great people from Grayson Music, a group that represents a multitude of music-focused companies like the Wilders, the Music Assembly, and now SNGL. Founded in a culture of collaboration, the award-winning team works with hundreds of agencies, brands, and networks every year with a mission to elevate content through music and sound, while continuing to build the value of music. By creating harmony between people and brands through the power of music, Grayson Music skillfully expresses the human experience through sound. Today, we welcome Bridget Flynn, CEO and partner. Hi. Kelly McCluskey, executive producer and partner.
Hi.
Hi. Tyson Kutei, music director and partner.
Hello.
And Ali Willa Milner, music and voice director, all of them at Grayson Music.
Hi. All right, you nailed it.
Thank you all for joining today and welcome to our Gerety Talk. So to begin with, can you please introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about your role and what you do specifically at Grayson? Who would like to start?
Let's start with the top dog, Bridget.
Yeah.
The big dog.
Hi, I'm Bridget. How are you? I'm the CEO, and what do I do? I guess, what don't I do? There's a lot. We're a very tight team, and I'm based in New York right now, and we have offices in spread out in the US and then Canada. So there's a lot going on, but to me, it's all about our team, our talent, our culture, and the value of music. That's a huge thing for me, and maintaining all of that in this world of the commoditization of music. So that's me.
Kelly, would you like to continue?
Yeah, sure. I guess I have a few aspects to my role, but a big part of it is building and managing our production team. So in-house, we have so many very gifted people, music directors like Ali and Tyson, composers, sound designers, engineers, you name it. So a big part of my role is making sure we operate like a well-oiled machine, and we're doing good work and staying inspired. And I think that's a big part of what I do. Yeah.
Tyson?
No, Willa's going
No,
next.
you first. You go.
Asked. Well, I feel like I need to champion the team a little bit more because Bridget and Kelly are phenomenal, and they're not gonna, because they're humble. Also, they're not gonna say all the stuff that they do. But basically, what I do is I come in and I create chaos, and I make a mess of everything, and I jump the gun on stuff, and I'm just a creative guy who just wants to do everything awesome. Doesn't matter what the budget is. I don't care. I don't even want to think about it. But then Bridget and Kelly make sure that I don't break stuff. So I can create the chaos, but they make sure that everything is in line. And I feel like that's such an important part of how we are led as a team, is why our team is so good, because Bridget never takes her foot off the gas pedal when it comes to what the company is doing now and in the future. Overall, through all the companies, through Single, through the Wilders, through Grayson, all the things that we want to do and create to keep the rest of us busy and working and always having work and always being challenged and being creative. She handles that. Kelly makes sure it all runs smoothly. And I'm talking like everything. She doesn't miss, I don't know how, she doesn't miss anything. And so to manage all that, all the people, and then all of the creatives who are usually up in the cloud somewhere taking care of something, Kelly's so instrumental, and the rest of the production team, they're so instrumental in keeping all the creative looking professional and being a business and operating as a business, because that's what agencies need. So I just wanted to champion you two a little bit more. And all I do is,
this was supposed to be about you.
I like to be creative. I like to make music. I like to help others make music and direct music makers into making things great and making them work for film, for TV, for commercials. I like to manage people and keep them inspired as well. But then we're also directing voiceover talent in the work that we do. So that's part of what my daily thing is. And I love it. And Allie's amazing. You go next.
Well, amen to everything about the production team, by the way, and also to you, Tyson, as well, an amazing mentor within the company and creative mind. And I get to do a similar thing. I get to create music, work with people to guide a sonic vision for a project. Sometimes we're bringing a client's vision to life or helping them figure out what is the right thing for their piece or their campaign for advertising. And yes, directing voice talent for those campaigns as well. It's so much fun. There's like so much creativity even in the booth with them. So it's just kind of collaboration and creativity from top to bottom. And I'm lucky enough to be part of that.
And Tyson, you mentioned challenges. So my next question is, what are the biggest challenges you face?
I feel like one of the biggest challenges that we're all facing is time. I feel like the expectation of turnaround times is insane right now. And that's not just because it's the agency that wants to have things super fast and done by a certain time. It's that they're being pressured by the amount of content that they have to produce in a world that is driven by content.
Mhm.
And so it's on every level. It doesn't matter if your campaign is really, really small or massive. There are many components that go with each campaign, and they require a lot of content to be created. And therefore, there's a need for an enormous amount of music everywhere. And so just keeping up with the turnaround times on the projects that come in, I think that's the biggest challenge. But then that is the core reason why you need to strengthen your team. And that's what we found, is that your team is everything when it comes to meeting those challenges.
I could not agree more with that. It's
Yeah.
like, production deliverables just multiply and timelines are yesterday. And so I feel like more than ever, the robust team is so necessary to turn things around. And I think also, you have to keep in terms of like the music industry, you have to stay very relevant and continuously expand your network of artists, keep your work relevant. Representation is super important, all of those things. Yeah. Which I think also maybe would lead into maybe another challenge is making sure that representation is there. And I think, Allie and Bridget have both been spearheading making sure women are represented in our business. I would love both of them to talk a little bit more about that. We just did a She Writes camp.
Amazing. Oh my God.
Allie.
Sure. Well, so She Writes is an amazing organization founded by two women, Charlie McLean and Violet Skies. And their goal is really shining a light on the fact that there are not a lot of women behind hit songs these days, in the top liner, songwriter, words, melody role, and the producer role, the track person. And so not only are they shining a light and making sure the numbers are known by the industry, they're solving it through, or they're helping to solve that issue or lack of representation through song camps, building community, introducing people. So we are publishing Single, collaborated with them to put together a song camp in Toronto, Canada. And it was 4 or 5 days, however many days it was.
It's all a blur now.
Yeah, it's all a blur. We had an amazing time bringing in some incredible women creators as in the top liner role, as producers and as artists. And we also made the decision to include male artists as well, because it's often an automatic thing to pair a female team with a female artist. And I think that if more women are behind the creation of songs sung and written by men, there is the opportunity to help reduce misogyny in music and songwriting in general, and what we hear on the radio and in song lyrics, etc. So it was exciting for us to participate in that, and it's helped us kind of build our community. And although that is on the artist creation song side, we have some women that we'll be working with on composing for advertising, film and television now as well. So relationships moving forward. So that is an exciting one for us.
I think that's right. You just have to be more active in that. You can't just let that happen. You have to be proactive in that space and
intentional, absolutely
intentional about it. Yeah.
And that's
so
that's what I love about
that's a challenge still, sadly.
The numbers are wild.
Because this is a big part of who you are as Garrity. And so I think that still is a challenge that we're actively working on.
I think that for us, and I always look at things from a, we are a very creative business and we have creative people, but we also are in a business and we have opportunities for people, musicians and creators to earn a living. And so for me, it's the connecting of those two. It's the side of making sure that we're expanding that opportunity and making sure that there is that built-in process for being intentional about increasing the diversity and representation within our creator network. But then with that, really, because we do have a large team, there's this built-in mentorship that goes into that whole process. So there's which is one thing that I truly believe is the key to actually getting towards our goals of diversity and representation across the board, that mentorship and that part of the process rather than just trying to get numbers up. So that's a huge part of who we are. But then also on the other side of that is making sure that the music that we're creating and offering to all of our clients, and making sure that they're very aware of what goes into that creative process and the value of music, which I'd mentioned earlier, in this time of commoditization of music, where there's like a never-ending music everywhere available and streaming, and you can just pull stuff from anywhere. And just for us, focusing on our craft and on our people and on what we're doing, and not getting lost in that sea of music. So yeah, that's a challenge, but also a very exciting thing for us as a company in how we see the future. So that was a long answer. We like challenge.
Yeah.
Great. We got 5 minutes left and we're on question number
And yeah, you spoke about like there's a lot of offer and lots of music, and how do you manage to be in touch and know about new artists? How do you nurture your creative how do you say aspect of things and to know about new artists? What do you do?
It's a good question. I feel like that changes by the week these days, because obviously we have a website and people are hearing about us and want to work with us. So we get, lots of emails saying, hey, check out my stuff. And we go through every single email and check out the offerings that people have and what they're doing to find those diamonds in the rough, people who are proactive enough to put it out there and say, hey, check me out, because a lot of people in music, they don't understand to do that. But then also through our camps, those are amazing opportunities. Through our artist network, we have a ton of artists that we work with through our single camps, who then say, hey, you should work with this person, or you should talk to this person. And so just having an internal network of friends that are all talking to each other is probably one of the best. Hey, I know you're looking for this style of music or production. I don't do that really well, but you should call my buddy. He's amazing at this. Or you should call her. She's incredible at producing this type of music. And then we bring them in and find them that way. That's always a really fun part, because it just becomes this internal network of people who are all trying to get to the same place, but they all understand also what the quality level should be at, what the production level needs to be at, to be competitive in an industry that, can be saturated by everybody doing music, because the technology has changed so much in such a short time. Everybody feels that they can make music, but it's up to us to be able to filter through that and say, hey, this person has something really, really special. And we see the way it can work in the advertising industry in terms of it keeping it fresh and vibrant and fun, and has not just being the same old thing. Like, how do we bring more sounds in? Well, you want to diversify your sound, you got to diversify the instruments, and those instruments are the people. And so going through it like that is always a fun way to discover new talent in new music.
And the other thing I was going to say is that it's funny. I think that literally I am the only one out of the whole team, and no matter what they are, whether they're composers or engineers or sound designers or producers or accounting, like everybody is a musician and plays music and sings, I think, except for me. So with that,
our director of finance is the best piano player in the house.
Yeah,
like melt your face off. So, unbelievable.
Have this, and so we're all on Slack, and we're very connected and tight as a team, even though there's a pretty big group of us, and we have channels for sharing, and we're like, did you hear this? Or so everything, the inputs that are coming in, whether it's internally and people, I went to this show or this or that, or from our clients are so, they're listening to music and they're sending stuff to us and getting us thinking. So it's just, it's coming from everywhere, and it's about sharing and collaboration. And I think that that's like where it's.
That is such a great point, Bridget. I want to press in on that. Our clients, that's a good one, because you can, as a music maker, you could really develop this like, oh no, I won't be listening to your music or what the director put on the cut. No, we need to be informed by that, because not only are we listening to the music that's put on there, it's giving us information about what the director likes, what the vision was, what the creative team at the agency is into, because that's just as important, because they've had this whole creative process through everything that they've created, the words, the art direction, the flow of it, how they've directed the actors. All of that is coming from a creative source. And if you understand what that creative source is, that gets you to a closer place of what the music should be. So it isn't just about, hey, we want this to be a jazzy funk thing. Okay, well, what is it about that jazzy funk thing that you like? We are gathering information with every conversation, every briefing call, every briefing document that we look at is informing us on where we need to take the music and how we need to direct that. It's a streamlined process, but it's very strategic and intentional. So the more information we get and the more you open your heart and your hands up to that information, is the better job that you're going to do to create that thing that they're looking for creatively. So that is key. And we get that information, and it's sacred to us. If you say, hey, here's 3 references, we have to listen to that. And a lot of times we are surprised and we discover stuff that we didn't know. There's so much music out there in the sea. We can't claim to know it all and understand it all. And if it takes us down a rabbit hole of discovering a new genre, that's amazing. That just helps us grow as a team and as creators.
One of my favorite parts of the job is decoding a reference and figuring out, because it's not always genre. Is it like, have they chosen this because it's spacious and allows, for the sound design to pop through, or like, is it like this genre, but they like it because it's left of center, and so they need to hear something that's left of center of a different genre. Like wild cards are my favorite thing, and often it'll surprise them. And I don't know, just decoding what it is that they love about it, and then behaving accordingly and presenting things that live in that world, and then maybe push a little bit further is like one of my favorite parts of it. I have a little life hack if you're looking for new songs though. If you're a Spotify user, if you go to the radio, if you go to a song you love and then go to the radio option, it goes to a whole playlist of songs that are like that song. And so you can discover so many fun things. And so that's how I personally, to listen to music in my life, like to discover new songs.
I love that. I use that.
That's so such a great function.
Chronic playlisting. Ali also loves to playlist. And I would say that's another great thing about like the community that we have at Grayson, is like all the playlists that when I was feeling stale about my music playlist the other week, I just got 3 big fresh ones. And I think when you work in the business, like Bridget and Tyson said, it's not just us in the music house, it's our agency partners too, who love music and who are going to shows and thinking the same things that we're thinking, where it's like, I love this artist, how do we license this artist? Or you're in a store and you are Shazamming something because you can't get it out of your head. And it's like, all of us are absorbing it all the time and thinking about it. And watching commercials too.
Yeah.
That's so true.
Just take absorbing all the time, I think.
That's such a great point. It's having your antennae up all the time to be waiting for that thing that hits you. That is such a great point, because I'm constantly listening to commercials, being inspired, listening to the mix, listening to the voiceover, hearing the timing, what's the music. That informs us. Every time I'm out, I'm listening. I hear something that's interesting and it's cutting through the store just perfectly. What is it about that instrument that's making it cut through? Shazam that bad boy. Hop on YouTube. I'm looking for a real estate video. Oh, but this new song popped up. Okay, let me click on that. Oh, let the algorithm show you all the other things that are related to that. Let me check this out. Let me check that out. Let me check that out. So there you go. Technology is playing a role in keeping us fresh and always discovering new things.
It's true. I'm the person that's now like shh to my husband when I'm watching commercials now. Anyway.
Yeah, so I had a question. You just mentioned technology, and so how has your work changed with new technology, especially now everybody's talking about AI and that it will replace people doing music, painting, or these kind of things. What are your feelings about it?
What's AI? Nope, nobody talks about AI.
As a company, we have from day one embraced technology. Like that's was been a huge thing in terms of our process and creation, right? The tools and all of that. So we're definitely not scared of technology, and it's always changing and updating and doing all of that. But that's what I'll say about that in general about technology. Like, it's not like it's just new. It's been happening forever, and you have to really be on top of it. But at the same time, it's that marriage of creation and instruments. There's instruments everywhere, all over the place. And that together with the technology is where we come from. Tyson, Allie?
You go, Tyson.
I don't know. Like, this whole AI thing is coming up everywhere. It's not just in our industry, but I think, like with any tool at the beginning or any new discovery or any new invention, people either are jumping in early adopters, and there are other people that are going to proceed with caution. And I think as a company and as a team, we are very excited about new technologies, all of them, but it comes with implications. And I think we, as being responsible partners to our agencies, we have to look at all of those things. So it's not just about, let's just dive in and we're going to let AI make music and do all this.
Yeah.
What are the implications of that for our clients is a very important and responsible thing that we have to be very certain of before we dive all the way in. It's just like whenever there's a new update on the iPhone or a new update on the Mac OS, I like to sit back and wait a little bit and like be watching the blogs, reading about what experiences people are having before jumping in and doing my own update and just being like, we'll just see what happens and I'll figure it out as we go along. That is cool. You can do that, but not when you have a lot of responsibilities. With my computer, I'm responsible for lots of things that need to happen for our client. I can't just all willy-nilly upgrade my operating system and then be down for 3 days trying to fix it because of the problem. So technology has to be, yes, embraced. We embrace it all the time, but you have to proceed with caution and you have to proceed responsibly to then not just jump in too soon and then you make a mess of everything. So that's kind of where we're at as a company. And
we're in that middle place of we're copyright owners. And we're also servicing businesses that require rights, and putting brands are licensing music and creating music and they're paying for that to go onto their commercial and their rights. So, AI and that whole world is very, very murky, and so it's
a bit of a Wild West right now.
It's as a business. You really, it's not figured out there yet. And so we are extremely cautious there.
Well said.
The robots are coming.
The camera work there was excellent. I thought
that was good. I actually turned mine on. That was amazing. You could use manually.
And tell me a little bit about the creative process. I'm always curious to know if you start by an instrument, if you start by an idea, if you see an image and then you think about the music, if it's the other way around. How
Mm,
how how is it that you work?
that's a great question. Ali, why don't you take that?
Sure. I mean, similar to what I said earlier, it's kind of like, what is the feeling we're trying to achieve here? I feel like I like to start there. And then what are the textures that help bring that to life? Is it, organic instrumentation? Is it something that is more of a modern pop production? Like, I don't know. I kind of always come back to the feeling though myself. And but then go from there and like figuring out what the client wants in terms of like a voice, a female voice, a male voice, an androgynous sounding voice, lyrics, words. It's all it's a bit nebulous in terms of like where we're gonna land. Although I guess I'm open to all things, but it kind of all boils down to what are we trying to take away from this? And a good start if we are working on for a campaign is some songs that provide the feeling. Like references are so fun, or even just descriptors were like fun, celebratory, triumphant, melancholy. Like these things can be evoked in so many different ways. And I don't know, that's kind of where I start. What about you, Tyson?
That's good. That's so good. For me being a music director, I kind of wear two hats because I'm also a music creator. So
Mm-hmm.
as a music creator, I'm gonna always start with chords because to me, chords give you the sense of emotion. And so, what's cool about doing a lot of music the way we do, and I've talked to this to some of the other composers and writers that we work with. I'm always asking that question. Hey, how do you start? What do you like to start with? And that will change depending on the person. But the common thing that I find is with everybody across the board is when you are making music for a living, you get bored very easily. So one day it's going to be like, oh, I want to start on piano. Another day is like, the last thing I did was piano. I need to go to the guitar. Oh, I got this cool new synth toy. Let me pull that up. And I want to hammer on this cute little mini piano. And that's going to be the thing that inspires me. So knowing as a musician, you can see I have a 70s three Fender Rhodes here in the corner. I've got guitars over here. Everything is going to inspire something different and it's going to make you go in a different direction. So I think as a creator, having as many tools around you to allow you to start from whatever place that is, it could be starting from me just tapping on the table versus me just hearing something in the hallway and then it catches my ear as the start of a melody and then I'm turning that into a whole production. It can be anywhere. I think the key is just arming yourself with enough options that are around you to be able to create. And so that's always been a fun thing for me is to just start with different instruments but always starting from that place of emotion like Willa said.
Hmm.
And one big thing for us, like it's, and these two are a huge part of that is just collaboration in that creative process. And breaking, whether it's talking about the brief and breaking that down and then getting some references in and people are thinking here and there. And as a company, that's a big thing is that we create together. We might be connecting on Slack, maybe in the hallway, but it's all part of that. And there's that safety and comfort in the team and being able to bounce things off and peer review. So that's all a huge part of us too. And these guys as directors lead that team and provide all of that feedback, and people, take all that stuff and they play stuff for each other. So I know that that's a huge thing. And even what you guys were talking about earlier about new artists and bringing in a new singer or a new artist or composer that we haven't worked with before. And that inspires something completely brand new and creating together, not just one composer in a room by themselves. There is a lot of that, but it's also just, working together too. So
That is such a great point. I was going to hammer that point home is that sometimes the inspiration comes from our own team. Sometimes I'll hear something that another writer did and it's like, this is my buddy. And like, this person produced something that came like this, and then it hit me. I'm like, wow, how did you even think of that? That is amazing. And but then we have the added luxury of saying, okay, you got to tell me where you found that instrument, or you got to tell me where you came up with that. Like having that camaraderie within our own team, that is a huge inspiration, because I'm like, how did you even think of that? That's amazing. And they've said that to me, and like we've gone back and forth, and then we share ideas and sounds and approaches, and that is a huge source of inspiration. And that is such a blessing for us to have as a team. And there's a lot of times that we'll collaborate on these things together, and the inspiration is coming from that back and forth. So it's oh my gosh, we have the best job, guys.
It's so true. I think of collaboration, and it's my favorite thing as well. Like historically, like I'm a co-writer. I love to top line with artists for their projects, etc., or for my own stuff. And now it still proves true within this team and this company. Like it's like your mind is a bunch of corridors, and working with somebody else might illuminate one you didn't know existed and take you down this road that you had no idea was there before. And I just think collaboration is like my favorite thing, and one of my favorite parts of this job.
With that reference. Oh my gosh.
The corridors of my mind.
Can you just write a book already, please? Can you write a book? So good. See what I'm saying? Like we're around such inspirationally creative people all the time. Like it's phenomenal. And I think that is a key takeaway. Stop trying to hold things so close. I used to be a person that held things very closely. I wouldn't want to share what I'm doing. I don't listen on like it's a secret. And the moment thankfully I learned young. I had a friend who just taught me just be more open with stuff. And first of all, it's a relief. Secondly, it's such a gift to be able to share what it is that you're working on with people that you trust. Like don't just throw it on the internet for everybody to just be whatever, but get yourself around like-minded people and share and share and share and collaborate. It really is the breakfast of champions, collaboration. So like that's our secret sauce. Don't tell any of our competitors, but
yeah,
that's what we do. We collaborate, and we are open-handed. We are open with our clients. We are open with each other. We are open with bringing in new people. I mean, that's another thing, is that we have a strong core team. They should be like, oh no, don't let any new people in. This is our thing. They're not. They're always like, bring them in. Like, let's teach them. Like, how do you have people that are willing to work with new people and then share all the things that they've learned through years of being in the industry with a new breed of creators? That is an attitude that is very special. And thankfully, they've seen the value in that, because when you are open like that, people are open with you, and that's how you open yourself up to learning more. And so if you can learn that early, that is huge. And so I love our team for that as well.
So a lot about collaboration and sharing.
Yes.
That's what I'm learning.
Summary.
Cool. And tell me, what 3 must-have tracks do you each have in your favorite playlist? You were mentioning playlists earlier, Kelly.
Go for it.
Cal.
Come on, Kel. You just refresh your playlist. What you got?
Well, this is such a tough one. I went with 3 of my classics, which would be Joan Armour Trading, Down to Zero, John Prine, How Lucky, and what should I choose as the last one? Maybe Christine and the Queen's $5.
Oh,
that
nice.
Sounds right.
Yeah.
I feel like if you ask anyone who loves something, music, books, television shows, ask them what their favorite is, and then they'll forget everything they've ever heard, read, seen.
Yeah.
But I did my homework on this one. I distilled it down to my latest 3. Okay. Polo and Pan, I think, is a French group, Lucia, and they have a song called, oh my God, so good. You got to listen to the whole album. But Canapé, I can't stop listening to that song. It sounds like if the Addams Family like went to the beach, but in the 70s.
I think you shared that this week, maybe. Did you?
Maybe. Yeah. I don't know if I did, to be honest, but I will now. It's so good. I can't stop listening to that song. And then I really love the song Are You Having Any Fun by Elaine Stritch. What you get done out of it. Anyways, look it up. excellent. It's a great summer track. It's like a vintage, I don't know when it's from, but she's a sassy gal. And then there's a Canadian producer called Ron Lapata, pop producer, has done all, right? Done all sorts, like industry vet, blah, blah, blah. And he's releasing just piano tracks now. And he has a song called Luminescent, and it is stunning. You guys should all listen to it. You just throw it on, walk along the water, and everything will be fine. It's beautiful.
I love that. I love that. I love Ron Lapata. That's amazing.
Yeah, you've got to check out these songs. They're so good.
Okay, so I only have 2.
Okay.
Because I don't believe in having a favorite song. I don't think that it is anything that you can whittle down to anything, because there's so many factors. But I do have one particular song that I am really trying to get in a commercial or something, because I think it's so cool. It's called Mini Skirt, and it's by
great title.
Yes, it's by Esquivel, Juan Garcia Esquivel. It did the original, but I discovered it by the Kronos Quartet. And if you've ever seen any of their Tiny Desk performances, they are phenomenal. So I highly recommend taking a listen to it, because it's a journey through magical instrumentation. That's all I'll say. So listen to that. The rhythm of it is insane. I should just play it. You know what? I'm gonna give you a taste of it. I know this is okay. Listen to the way this bass line starts. Okay.
Also a little Addams Family at the Beach, a little bit.
Right.
I love it.
So that's one of my favorite tunes ever. And then the next one is Jungle. They have a song called Cruise.
Cool.
When you watch that video and the dancing in the video and the groove,
just like
it's
dancing for me is just the best.
It's soothing for the soul. So those are my 2. I'm stopping there.
Okay, for me, it's I have to go like sort of most recent, because to say like favorite, I can't remember, but I don't have one. So I would say I kind of have done 2, and this is literally a brand new one that I found this weekend, and then an album. So Lil Yachty's Let's Start Here album, like just makes me want to like lose my mind, freak out, cry, like how the production on that, him as an artist putting that out there, it's just like, And so I listen to that album from beginning to end every time, like beginning to end, and then I'll do it start over again. And so that I haven't done that with a lot of albums, and I don't think people listen to music like that very much. But that's now like that's an album you listen from beginning to end. And of course, I have favorite songs within that I listen to them over and over. But so anyway, that one, and then just this weekend, Beach House Holiday House. I just heard it and I'm like, my God, what is like when you're on I do the Spotify radio and then something comes up, I'm like, that
what
song
is that?
of like you hear it and it like comes out of the speakers for you. So that one was that for me. That's branding.
Awesome.
Okay, so a very last question. If you were all part of a band, the Grayson Music All-Star Band, what type of music would you play and what instrument would each one of you play? I want to know.
My instrument.
I wouldn't play an instrument. I would be a backup dancer.
Yeah.
No. You wouldn't. You would be negotiating how much the band would be getting paid for each show.
Costumes, negotiation, lights, and I'll be a backup dancer.
Yes.
Nice. Is the instrument meant to be a metaphor for who we are as a person?
Yeah, like what does this reveal?
Yeah.
I don't know. I just thought it was a good question, and I
great question.
We're gonna play pirate metal.
Hell yeah. My instrument would be my voice for sure.
Yes. Hey.
And what would the genre be, y'all? I'm thinking
that's tough.
Goth Beach.
The genre would be, I think the genre would be multi-genre. So it would be like some kind of fusion of soul, there would be hip hop, and there would be rock, and then there would be a little bit of dance and electro and funk and pop all in one. And we would find a way to infuse it all in one song. And I would be a scratch DJ in the back. I'd have some synths set up, and then I'd have some retro keys set up as well. So I would be playing multiple instruments in a semicircle because I need to have all the lights on me, baby.
You would definitely have a microphone to hype everyone up as well.
Yes, I would. I absolutely would.
Without a doubt.
Well, I am very much looking forward to your next concert. Let us know when this happens. And thank you so much for sharing your very cool work and everyday work that you do at Grayson Music. Thanks for your time, and good luck with all projects you carry on in the future.
Thank you
so much, Lucia.
Thank
This
you.
was fun. Thank you.
Bye.